What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be ranking the best small forwards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM, lads. As always, it is going to be mainly, well, not mainly, we're going to be looking at the primary small forward position, just to honestly keep some consistency for the tier list. So, a lot of the guys you guys may be expecting, but like might be power forwards, they might be shooting guards. So, yeah, if you guys want to just kind of see an overall list will be out soon enough, or you can just look at my top 100 list, which I released today. Also, lads, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to 290,000 subscribers as soon as possible, lads. Right now we're less than like 750 off, so if you guys are new to the channel and enjoy this type of content, subscribe. But anyway, now let's get on to it. So, Albert King, like, look, like these are good cards. So Albert King's gonna go B tier. A little bit undersized, a 6'6", but he's got a nice wingspan. Like, Ray Allen, based on very quick, is good, but his 3-point rating's kind of low. Like, Ray Allen's only a good, not a great release. Dribbling is all right. Defensively, he's very good, but he's just a solid player. He's a solid player. I hate him so much. AK, I think the most overrated player in all of my team. If his name is not Andrei Kirilenko, people will be calling him a scrub. He's barely better than Pink Time Danny Ferry. Andrei Kirilenko is not a good card. He'll play a little bit of defense, sure. His release is worse than Sean Kemp. Like, he's not really him. Wiggins gonna go in that C tier as well. You're wondering, like, if you're thinking AK is too low. I don't think Wiggins and AK are a similar level. Wiggins has got that good release. He's down to that base 22. Player, like, his movement is good. He can play at the 2-guard position. He can fade. Obviously, Dark Matter Wiggins is a better player by quite a lot. But I'm going to put Wiggins down here in C tier. Dark Matter Wiggins, on the other hand, is going to go into A tier. His movement is good. His shooting's good. Kind of everything. Honestly, everything about Andrew Wiggins in this game is good. Like, this card is fantastic. Player build is really, really good and can play at the 2. Anthony Davis is going in that C tier as well. He's going into that C tier. Like, now you guys are starting to see the list come together a little bit, wondering why I got AK so low. Like, most of these cards are genuinely good cards. AD is just a solid player. He'll hit wide open jumpers and he'll be tall. He's like a much worse George Mikan, or like a worse version of Giannis Antetokounmpo's his out of position card. Really solid. Will play defense, but that's kind of it. So I'm gonna put in the lower tier guys now, so you guys can see kind of roughly what we are working with. So as far as this list goes, Sean Elliott and Baylor have to go into worthless, I think. Sean Elliott and Baylor two worst players here? Probably. These guys probably. And Bruce Brown, because he has hot zones. Or he has cold zones. Bruce Brown on the right hand side of the floor is an entire cold zone. I'm not even joking. His right side of the floor is a cold zone. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. But the entire right hand side of the floor for Bruce Brown is a cold zone. So we got kind of them guys in worthless, and we need like an E tier or a D tier player. So one tier above them is probably like Scotty Diamond, or sorry, Scotty Opal. I know some people swear by this card, but I think it's more comfortability than anything. And who else belongs really? RJ Barrett, maybe? Reddish? Is Cam Reddish here? Yeah. Cam Reddish is going to go into D tier as well. Like, not the greatest card in the world, don't get me wrong. Cincinnati's Powell is going to go into D tier. I'm going to keep it like that. And now you can kind of see why Andrei Kirilenko and AD are in C tier. Twan. He's not bad. So he's got base 4 and very quick. Good player build. All around good stats. Quick dribble style. As far as I'm aware, it's quick. I'll check that. I'll check on that one, but I think it's quick as far as I'm aware. Like, I think he's good. He's obviously not as good as Juwan. I think that's kind of the big reason why a lot of people have slept on this card, is because Juwan came out and Juwan's better. But like, he's 6'8", wide player build, base 4, quick dribble style, and normal leaner, unbelievable defensive stats. He's got like 5 stats overall of below 90. Like, yeah, these modern cards are so much better than cards we previously had. It's actually not even funny. Billy Owens. Billy Owens is like a juiced up version of that Scotty. He's 6'8", can play at the 2. He's got the Dame behind the back. He's got the Dame release. Same with the Dame behind the back. Scotty behind the back. The Dame release. And he's got that big player build. Only problem is he doesn't have hot zones anywhere other in the corners. But no, I like Billy Owens. Bobby Jones, S. S tier, no question about it for Bobby Jones. One of the best cards in the game, period. Like, the guy really does not have any flaws. The guy honestly doesn't. He's an elite dribbler, he's an elite shooter, he's an elite defender. Sure, the ratings don't seem the highest in the 3-ball, but trust me, Gallo based on very quick is a really good release. And yeah, he's going to go into S tier for me anyway. Okay. Ingram. Ingram. I'm going to C tier for Ingram. I think the player build is just too skinny to be a really good defender, and that's kind of where he lacks. I think he's at a similar level to like an Antoine Walker. I'm not low on him, I'm also not high on him. Bowen's going D tier. Not the worst card in the world. It's just Badier is a clone of him, but better in every way. I don't understand it. Like, Badier came out, and the next week Bruce Bowen came out. He was a tier higher than Badier. Badier is better in every way. And they're obviously just clones of each other. Melo. B, A. Melo's good. Defensively, Melo's very solid. Offensively, leaves a bit to be desired. And this is going to shock you guys. Kazi Russell in B tier. I just think that ability, that base 3, the ability to create any really good player build, just makes Kazi just more dangerous. He's a lot more dangerous than any of these guys in C tier. Sure, he might not play the defense of those guys, but he's so much more dangerous on the offensive end with that base 3. There's a reason why, again, why I rate Drazen so highly. It's just the danger factor. He's just so dangerous. And it's the same with Kazi Russell. Seti. Seti's going A tier. Now, Seti's a really good card. Again, I think Drazen's a better player than him. But Seti still got that base 3 on very quick. He's still got that really nice player build. His dribbling, that's all I'm going to say about it. But again, he gets an inch of space, he's going to green because of base 3. Again, another card that's extremely dangerous in terms of creating and shooting. You're not really going to miss with him. Again, base 3 on very quick is quite a lot faster than base 3 on quick. It's also quite a lot harder to green. Not the greatest 3-point rating, not the greatest hot zones. But I will say, Cedric Maxwell, actually, not the greatest 3-point rating, not the greatest shooting badges. Cedric is still incredible. Especially for guys that are comfortable with Cedric. Now, Mullen's going to go into A. And the Opal Mullen will go in that tier with him. Like, he can still move, he can still shoot, he's still very, very good at creating. Like, again, Mullen's just really, really good. Glensky, C. Glenn is not a great card. Glenn might move down to D tier. And speaking of Glenn Robinson's going down to D tier. I like Glenn. I really like Glenn at the start of the year. I loved Glenn Robinson NBA 2K21. I don't like him here. I really don't like Glenn Robinson here. Like, he was really good at the start of the year. Base 29 is a great release early year. It was one of those releases that is super good on normal when there's no real good release in the game, but when it gets to very quick, it's not great. We got other god tier releases. Hito, A. Herb Jones, B. Herb, elite defender, elite shooter. That's really what he does, and he can hit the laner if needed. Hito Turkoglu is just a huge body who's a great offensive player. Dribbling good, shooting good. All around solid. Like, he's not going into S tier, but I mean, he's not too far off it, to be honest. Wilkes. I gotta see. He's a good defender, and he's fast. He's mobile. He's fast. He's just kind of small. He's honestly just kind of small for a Small forward, even small for a 2 guard. His release is okay. Tatum. Now I'm gonna put Tatum at the top of B. I don't think Tatum's as good as Melo. I don't think Tatum's as good as any of these guys. Like, this is a tough one though. Tatum might get moved up to A. I think Tatum's fine. I think he's a perfectly fine card, but that's the only way I can describe him. Perfectly fine. Jeff Green. All he does is green, man. All he does is green. Get into B tier. Low B tier, but get into B tier, Jeff Green. All the guy does is green. There's a reason. There's a reason he was on my top 100 list. I love this card. Jeremy Grant is a player I forgot. Jeremy Grant's better than Jeff Green. Jeremy Grant should have been on the top 100 list. But really nice card here for Jeremy Grant. Can move, can shoot. His defense is very, very good. And is just all around solid. He doesn't feel clunky. He doesn't feel clunky like an AK, even though AK should probably be the better card. Kuminga. This Kuminga is going to go here, and this Kuminga is going to go here. One of the more slept on cards in this game is Jonathan Kuminga. Dark Matter. This card here, obviously, people liked him for his time. But like, his time was quite a while ago. He was one of the best players in that Supernova set. That Supernova set was so disappointing. Like, the 3 most disappointing pink times in the game, maybe. In Magic Johnson, James Harden, and AK off in that one set. But this Kuminga here, such a good defender. I prefer him over Scotty. Like, I rate him that highly. Kawhi BS. I'm going high B tier for Kawhi. High B tier for Kawhi. With S tier for the other Kawhi. I just think his movement is so bad in the offensive end. His release time is on quick. Yeah, some people are really used to him or really like him because his defense is still very good. Defensively, he's not even that much worse than the Invincible. Just offensively, he's just non-existent. Durant, A. Durant is A tier. I got 3 more guys that I gotta go into S tier. I know who 2 of them are. I got my S tier, so yeah, I know my S tier is. He's going A. So we're gonna actually probably move guys down. Probably gonna start moving guys down here. I'm actually, as much as I don't want to do it, I'm gonna actually move him up. I'm gonna move him to worthless. I'm gonna move in today's game with these cards. Cam Reddish has got to be worthless. Like, looking at the cards left, there is no card left that is worse than that is better than Cam Reddish. Sorry, that's worse than Cam Reddish. I'm gonna move him down, him down, him down, him down, him down, and then we're gonna go Albert King going down to C tier. Kazi down. All he does is green down. Jeremy Grant down. Herb Jones down. And then I'm going to move Durant down. Kuminga down. Wiggins down. I'm going to go like this. Lamar Odom is going to go into C tier. Really solid player, really good shooter. Similar level player to a Jeff Green. Just really solid. Doesn't do anything too great, but he's a solid player. Larry Bird getting the B tier. Larry Bird release really good. He's a player I forgot in the top 100 list. Can move mediocrely, but a really good defender, and offensively he's perfectly fine. LeBron C. I'm going to go LeBron power within in C tier. I think you could maybe argue him in B tier because of his defense, but offensively he's kind of non-existent. I think he's at a similar level to Jeremy Grant. I think maybe if you're someone like a Ty, LeBron's probably an A tier player, but if you're someone like me, he's C, so maybe B tier. LeBron's though, I'm gonna go Sa. I think there's very little difference between these LeBrons. And you know, I'm gonna actually just take Hero LeBron out of here because I think both LeBrons belong in S tier. I don't want to waste 2 S tier spots on LeBron. These are basically the same card. This isn't like Luka where there's quite a large difference between the 2 Lukas. There is no difference between LeBrons. Thibault C. Now Thibault's undersized. He's a really good defender. Really good defender. Really good release. Isn't going to play much offense, but defensively just really, really solid. Really, really solid. So MPJ. Look, he's 6'10" and can move, so C tier, but like he could go down to D, honestly. Mikal Bridges, C. I use Herb Jones over him, so I cannot in good conscience put him above C tier. I can't in good conscience put him above C. Mike Miller. I'd love to put Mike Miller in B, but I just can't. I can. Mike Miller's in B tier. Mike Miller is like shifty dribble style, no Curry slide Mullen. Nah, Mike Miller's gonna go down. Mullen might get moved down a tier, I'm not gonna lie. Melo should go down. I don't know how Melo kept the spot there. Kuminga's my favorite of all these players. Kuminga's getting moved back up. Paul George. Look, Paul George is probably an A tier player. Like, I really like that release. I like his movement. PG is actually really, really good. He's one of these two tiers. Screw it, I'll put him B for now. Speaking of B tier, that is where Peja Stojakovic belongs. Like an elite shooter, really tall, movement-wise pretty good. Doesn't really have any flaws as a card. He's just a tiny bit slow. I kind of wish he just kept Drazen stats. Then he'd be a demigod. Richard Duma. D tier. I don't like the card. I don't like the card. I've used him a few times. I've struggled. His release is fine. His defense is meh. Like, considering we've got Cincy Powell. Nah, screw it. He's not as bad as like Jamal Wilkes. Give him C tier. Okay. Now this is my debate. I cannot in good conscience put him in S tier. I love Richard Jefferson. I cannot in good conscience put him in S tier. He's one of my favorite players in the game. There's just two guys that are better than him. Like, he's my backup 2 guard. Drazen starts, he's my backup. But like, he's one of my favorite players in the game, but I just can't in good conscience put him above. So RJ Barrett, honestly, D. I go D and B. I actually don't think it's crazy saying this RJ Barrett belongs in B tier. I really don't. I think he's a fantastic option. He is a fantastic option. I also think Chris Mullen needs to go down. Give me Paul George up. And then the last S, or one of the S tier players, Rudy Gay. No question about it, one of the best cards in the game. One of the best small forwards in the game, one of the best 2 guards in the game. You can argue he's the best player on this list so far. Not that normal to a leaner. He's kind of got everything. He's kind of got everything as far as cards go in this game. Really, really good. Scottie Pippen, A. No question about it, A tier. There's very few players. Like, I prefer Kuminga to a Scottie. I prefer Seti to a Scottie, but like Scottie's still solid. Battier. I'd love to put Battier in B tier, but I can't in good conscience stick the guy in B tier. Did I move? Yeah, I moved both. They're worthless. Jesus. Terry Dishinger. Look, where RJ Barrett's as good as Terry Dishinger. I'm still going to put him B tier because I think he's very similar to RJ Barrett. But still, though, Terry's going there. And I'll go B for Vince. And I'm going to go S for T-Mac. So that's our final S tier. And I also want to put more players in A tier. So I'm going to do 3 players. I'm going to do 3 players up from B tier to A tier because there's too many B tier. So I'm going to move Wiggins up. I'm going to move Durant up. And it's either Melo, Mullen, or Tatum. I think Mullen's probably the best. I'm going to do that. I'm moving Kevin Durant down. I think Melo's better than KD. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the tier list. B and A tier are basically equivalent. C tier is just solid. I mean, you could even use these D tier players. I'm not even going to lie. You could probably survive out there with some worthless tier players. Every card on this, like, there's no awful cards on this list. There's no unusable card on this list. There's really not. There's really not. All of these cards are at least solid. So I think most people would agree with the top 5. It's just a lot of people are going to argue, say, for example, Kevin Durant should be an A tier. Or Tatum should be an A tier. Or, like, I don't know. Is there anyone people are going to argue up? AD should be in B tier, I don't know. And there's definitely going to be people that are just like if Mike Miller's your 2 guard, that's fine. If freaking you still use Scottie, fair enough. But like, this is one of those tier lists where every card is good now. So people are gonna be like, oh, every card should be an A tier. It's like, no, I can't just make an entire tier list and just put everyone in A tier. So yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.